This is FET345, Development Technology. Which of the following is an appropriate description concerning test data for a white box test? A. Test data is created on the basis of internal structures. B. Test data is created on the basis of external specifications. C. Test data is created on the basis of relationships between input and output. And D. Test data is created using equivalence partitioning. Let's have a look at white box testing. This is also known as clear box testing, glass box testing, transparent testing, and structural testing. This is a testing technique that tests internal structure or workings of an application and derives test data from the program logic or code. White box testing design techniques include the following criteria. Statement coverage. This technique is aimed at exercising all program statements with minimal tests. Branch coverage. This technique is running a series of tests to ensure that all branches are tested. Path coverage. This is a technique that corresponds to testing all possible paths, which means that each statement and branch is covered. White box testing is used to ensure and validate the internal structure or framework mechanisms, objects and components of a software application. Test data is created on the basis of internal structures. White box testing verifies code according to the design specification and uncovers application vulnerabilities. Therefore, A is the correct answer. Let's have a look at the explanation of the other choices. B. The statement refers to functional testing. This is a type of black box testing that is based on the specifications of the software that is to be tested. Test data is created based on the external specifications of the application. Functional testing of software is conducted on a complete integrated system to evaluate the system's compliance with the specific requirements. In the statement for C, this refers to black box testing. Test data is created on the basis of the relationships between the input and the output. Typically, while performing a black box test, a tester will interact with the system's user interface by providing inputs and examining outputs, without knowing how and where the inputs are worked upon. This technique does not require any knowledge of the interior workings of the application, and therefore the tester is oblivious to the system architecture and does not have access to the source code. And finally, for D, the statement refers to equivalence partitioning. It is a case design strategy in black box testing. In this method, the input domain data is divided into different equivalence data classes. This technique is typically used to reduce the total number of test cases to a finite set of testable cases, still covering the maximum requirements. The answer to this question was A. We've looked at different types of testing, but specifically looked at the difference between black box and white box testing, and how these can provide two very different techniques to testing.